I'm Simon Dixon, founder of Rockar. My background is, for 20 years I was involved building what was a small family business into the third largest motor retail business in the UK. As I said, that was for 20 years. Actually, we sold that business back in 2004, and for 10 years plus, I then became a customer buying cars on the other side of the fence. And for me, that was what was the most informative part of why come back into this industry and why attempt to change what is a very traditional model, something that's been around for 120 years, involving salespeople and typical garages and typical processes. And as I said, the most informative part was actually being a customer for 10 years, seeing pretty much how bad it is and experiencing all the things that unfortunately maybe my customers were experiencing in the time I had in the industry before. The major sort of challenge was really completely how the buying experience was taking place, or is taking place today traditionally, in that it is disconnected from a good customer experience. It's driven more by process, it's driven more by controlling the customer and almost the customer feeling trapped and very uncomfortable in the process of buying a car, but also even in the facilities that are being built, these huge showrooms, and now you're the only person in those showrooms when you're visiting, and they're very uncomfortable environments from a customer point of view. So taking that, we said, how do we change that, and how do we change environment? How do we change the process? How do we put the customer in control of this buying experience? And we had to do that in, say, three things: the environment, the system, how a system supported that, and a different engagement with people. So could we attract different people to work in what effectively is a car business, but not be seen as the same sort of stereotyped individuals you get serving in a car business. So those three categories were the main effects. Building a digital system that was able to transact the business was a real tough one. This isn't a simple place your products online, click to go through to checkout. We have to deal with financing, we have to deal with taking your old vehicle with a part exchange value for that. So in order to do the full process took some time to build, and it took us 2.5 years to construct the system before we could get to how a store would look or how the people would operate inside it. So that was probably the biggest challenge. The customer experience is absolutely at the heart of what Rockar does. If you were to spend a day with inside Rockar, all of our motivation, all of our drive is about how we enable the customer to go through the experience in the easiest way, I say, putting them in control, giving them information. So we're continuously reviewing that through the team at Rockar. I guess if you spent oppositely in a typical car business, it would be about the process, are you achieving targets, are you earning enough profit per unit, all these type of things that to me are just detached from a customer. If you start your life out focused on the customer experience, believing that if you deliver all the components of that experience properly, then people will buy a vehicle from you, is what Rockar's about. And I think one of the sort of, there's probably two things that are linked here. We have huge customer visitor traffic. In our Blue Water store, in a year it had over 160,000 people through that store. That is more than the entire 158 dealers have in the country in terms of visitor traffic. And everybody will say, well, wow, did you convert 30% of those customers? Our thing is not about converting. Our thing is about letting those customers come through the store and what do they experience? What do they see? How do they feel about Rockar when they leave? How do they feel about the brand of Hyundai when they leave? Knowing that if we impart a great experience, then they're likely to come back. And interestingly, we allow our customers to come in and out of the store easily. We allow them to visit us for 2 minutes or 2 hours, whatever they want to do. Half of our customers complete their purchase with us at home. So after they visit the store, they then decide to complete the purchase. Now, that is not typical of this industry at all, because you can't complete at home. Success for us is still selling a lot of vehicles. So we came back into this environment. So could we have a very large business? Could it be scalable? Could this go into other countries. So at our heart, we're here to sell a lot of vehicles. We just don't use that as our main measurement. What we do is we believe in, if we measure levels of the customer experience, then the output will be that people will buy from us. So it's having that belief to be strong about what the research is showing you. If you deliver great experience, you'll deliver more vehicles. Typically, we have a high percentage of female visitors to our store. We have a higher percentage of female visitors that buy from us. In the industry, our average age of customer is 39. Industry is mid-50s. So we are attracting a new type of customer, and a customer that is more acceptable of what is going on in the change in the digitalisation of retail, full stop. So the interesting dynamic we have with this industry is that in the car industry, visitors to dealerships is on a decline because people are doing so much research online already. So visits have gone from 7 or 8 visits per sale to like 1.3. Now, I think it's a really difficult thing for the industry because therefore people are not seeing product. They're maybe seeing it online, but they're not seeing it physically. So, part of what Rockar did is say, could we put product where customers were in a different frame of mind, where they were experiencing shopping, leisure, food, whatever, and actually then sort of stimulate interest in the product. And that's been a big proof for us, is that putting it in an environment that was quite different meant that actually you interrupted that sort of retail journey, and you interrupted their sort of decision making and their change to coming into our store. So I think that's a big positive for what we've achieved.